When Mia graduated from college, she had $500 in her bank account, a stack of student loans, and a dream. She wanted financial freedom, a life where she didn't have to worry about money every month. But every time she tried to picture herself with $100,000 in savings, it felt like staring up at Mount Everest. Unreachable, impossible. She tried saving diligently, putting aside $200 here, $300 there, cutting back on eating out, and even selling old clothes online. Yet, months turned into years, and she barely got past $10,000. The gap between where she was and her first 100K felt like a canyon she could never cross. I'm Bobby, and I spend way too much time thinking about money, wealth, and the psychology behind why people struggle to reach that first $100,000. Today, I'm going to show you why that first six-figure milestone feels impossible, why the next 100K comes much faster, and how understanding the invisible rules of money can change everything. Here's the first thing you need to understand. Reaching $100,000 is as much about psychology as it is about math. Early on, your income is small, and your expenses seem unavoidable. Every dollar you save feels like a sacrifice. When you put $500 in your account, it's real, it's tangible, you can see it. But when you start thinking about $100,000, it feels abstract, distant, and almost fictional. Your brain struggles to relate to numbers that large, especially when they are 10, 20, or 50 times your monthly paycheck. And that's the invisible trap. It's not that $100,000 is impossible. It's that your mind interprets it as a mountain rather than a series of small, achievable steps. We naturally overweight the difficulty of large goals, especially when the early steps are slow and painstaking. Let's break this down with a story. Mia got a job after college earning $50,000 a year. She saved $10,000 over the first 3 years. It was slow, discouraging, and she felt like she was running in place. But here's the key. Those first $10,000 weren't just a savings milestone. They were training her brain. They taught her how to budget, how to avoid lifestyle inflation, and how to prioritize long-term financial decisions over short-term gratification. Now, fast forward to the next 3 years. Mia received promotions, started side gigs, and invested consistently. Her annual savings rate increased dramatically, not because her habits changed, but because her system was ready to scale. Suddenly, accumulating $20,000 or $30,000 in a year felt easier. The mountain she once saw as insurmountable started to look like a series of hills. And by the time she hit $100,000 in her late 20s, she realized the weird truth. The hardest part wasn't earning the money. It was starting. Here's why your first $100,000 feels impossible. The early phase is dominated by small numbers and compounding invisibility. When you invest $500 a month at a 7% return, it feels almost worthless at first. After 1 year, it's only $6,100. After 2 years, $12,500. After 3, $19,000. Your growth feels invisible, like running on a treadmill. You're putting in effort, but the progress feels minimal. This is what makes it discouraging. But here's the magic of compounding. Once you reach the point where your principal is substantial, growth accelerates and becomes visible. That's why the next $100,000 often comes faster than the first. Mia's first $10,000 took 3 years. Her next $90,000 took just 4 years, even with similar saving habits, because her investments and income growth started working together, compounding in ways that were invisible during the early stage. Let's make this concrete. Suppose you save $1,000 a month and invest it in a diversified index fund averaging 7% annual returns. After 1 year, you'll have roughly $12,500. After 3 years, $38,000. By the 5th year, $70,000. By the 7th year, you're over $100,000. Notice the pattern? The early years feel slow. The last few years feel explosive. This is exponential growth in action, and the key is to stay consistent. The first $100,000 feels impossible because the growth is mostly invisible. Your brain doesn't see the potential. But the truth is that the system is working behind the scenes, quietly, invisibly, like a hidden engine. Once you hit that milestone, the engine is strong enough that each additional $100,000 is easier. There's also a behavioral reason the first 100K feels so far away. Most people underestimate the importance of small habits adding up over time. Saving $20 a week may feel meaningless. Skipping a $5 latte might feel like torture. But over years, these small sacrifices accumulate into thousands of dollars. The people who reach 100K consistently are not necessarily the ones earning the highest salaries. They are the ones who understood the power of consistent, incremental action. And here's the kicker. Once you've reached 100K, your confidence changes. You stop viewing money as scarce and start thinking in terms of leverage. You start taking small, calculated risks. You invest in growth opportunities because you have a safety net. You no longer fear making a mistake with every dollar because your first 100K proves that your system works. That's why the next 100K usually comes faster. It's not just math, it's psychology. You've trained your brain to see possibilities instead of limitations. Now let's talk about the invisible forces that make early wealth accumulation feel slow. Fees, taxes, and opportunity cost. Every dollar you earn has friction. Investment fees, bank fees, taxes on income, all of these slowly reduce the impact of your effort. When you're starting small, these frictions feel huge. Losing $50 on a $500 contribution feels catastrophic. Losing $50 on a $10,000 contribution feels trivial. That's another reason the first $100,000 seems impossible. Friction is more visible when your base is small. Now, there's also a psychological bias called Reference point adaptation. Early on, you compare your savings to your immediate environment, your friends, your paycheck, your lifestyle. A $100,000 goal looks enormous compared to your $5,000 savings account. But once you accumulate more, your reference point changes. Your brain now benchmarks against larger sums, so $50,000 increments feel easier. You are literally reprogramming your perception of what's achievable. The next piece of the puzzle is system design. Mia didn't get rich by hoping for a windfall or relying on luck. She designed her system to force her savings and investments to grow automatically. She set up direct deposits to her brokerage account, automated contributions to index funds, and treated investing as non-negotiable. This is what separates people who reach $100,000 from those who get stuck at $10,000 or $20,000. Consistency beats timing. Systems beat motivation. Let's look at the math over a longer horizon. Suppose you have $10,000 saved and you invest $1,000 per month at 7% annual returns. After 1 year, $23,500. After 3 years, $53,000. After 5 years, $95,000. After 6 years, $114,000. Notice something? Most of the growth happens after the 3rd or 4th year, even though contributions were steady from day one. That's why people feel stuck in the early stage. They don't see compounding working yet, so it feels like their efforts aren't paying off. Another invisible factor is lifestyle inflation. Many people increase their spending as their income rises, unknowingly keeping themselves trapped in the slow lane. They earn more but save the same percentage or less. Those who reach their first $100K deliberately keep lifestyle creep in check while focusing on building their principal. Once your base is large, small increases in income translate to faster growth without feeling like a sacrifice. Now let's be honest. $100,000 is not magic. It's not financial freedom, and it won't solve all your problems. But it is a psychological milestone. It proves that your system works. It teaches discipline. It trains your brain to trust in slow, steady growth. And most importantly, it unlocks the next phase of wealth building. Once you've reached $100,000, you can leverage your confidence, your knowledge, and your capital to accelerate growth. That's why the next $100,000 usually comes faster. Here's the actionable framework you can use to reach your first 100K faster. 1. Start small, but start immediately. Consistency beats timing. $50 a week is better than waiting for the perfect moment. 2. Automate your savings and investments. Set up direct deposits into your brokerage account and automate contributions to diversified index funds. Remove the temptation to spend what you earn. 3. Build your emergency fund separately. Keep 3 to 6 months of expenses in a high-yield savings account. This protects you without derailing your long-term growth. 4. Invest beyond cash. Cash grows slowly and is subject to inflation. Low-cost index funds, ETFs, or retirement accounts allow your money to compound faster. 5. Track your progress in real terms. Don't obsess over monthly fluctuations. Look at your long-term trajectory and the power of compounding over years. 6. Control lifestyle inflation. Avoid increasing spending proportionally with income early on. Every dollar saved and invested accelerates your growth exponentially. 7. Trust the process. Early progress will feel invisible. The growth will come later, but only if you stay disciplined. Remember, the first 100K feels impossible because it is. Your brain interprets it as a massive, intimidating goal. But it's not impossible. It's simply a long chain of small, consistent steps, fueled by compounding, discipline, and smart behavior. The moment you hit that milestone, your perception shifts, and suddenly the next 100K and the one after that feels much more achievable. Mia's story isn't unique. Almost everyone who has reached 6 figures experienced the same struggle. Slow, almost invisible growth at first, followed by a sudden acceleration. That's not luck. That's compounding. That's systems. That's psychology working in your favor once you build the right foundation. So here's my challenge to you. Don't let the first 100K intimidate you. Break it into achievable steps. Automate your savings and investments. Track progress. Stay consistent. And trust that the compounding engine is quietly working behind the scenes. The first 100K is hard. The second, third, and fourth come much faster if you have the system in place. If this changed how you see your money and gave you clarity on why your first 100K feels impossible, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. I post videos every week breaking down money, wealth, and personal finance in ways that are simple, practical, and actionable. Your first 100K might feel impossible now, but the journey becomes much easier once you start. And trust me, the view from the top is worth every step.